Hey guys, Tim here. This video is for any prospective or current patients and or clients that are at all wondering why I've potentially given you either an exercise that is to be done differently on the left side versus the right side, or potentially an exercise that you only do on one side. You don't do the same on both sides. Most of my friends, some of you guys might know that since graduating PT school a couple years ago, I've taken a fair amount of continuing education coursework, most of it through the Postural Restoration Institute. This coursework with PRI has been amazing. It's made me aware of two really big concepts. One would be the influence of breathing just on the success of the human animal in general, improving movement patterns, that kind of thing. And the other would be really asymmetries in human physiology, human anatomy, and habitual human postures and movements. What I mean when I say that is that we as humans are not at all the same right versus left. We have a lot of differences if we were kind of to divide us in half. We have a heart on the left, we have 3 lung lobes on the right, we have 2 on the left. We have 2 little hemi-diaphragms, which if you watched my video from a couple months ago, you know what a diaphragm is. But 2 diaphragms that are not at all the same on the right versus the left. On the right, we have a diaphragm that's a little bit more domed, does a better job at keeping the ribs down, is really good at getting air out of that right side. And on the left, we have this diaphragm that sits a bit flatter, means these ribs are a little bit more open and externally rotated. Great for getting air in, not so great for getting air out. Going on, we have a liver on the right that kind of supports that right hemi-diaphragm. And then probably most importantly, we have a very dominant motor cortex in our brain on the left side. This left motor cortex leads to a right-sided motor acquisition dominance. Put simply, regardless of handedness, it's almost always going to be easier to stabilize yourself or learn a coordinated task on that right side. It's why we tend to see people a lot more stable over that right hip versus that left hip. Now, what's the upshot with all this asymmetry? All this asymmetry is awesome. The human animal is amazing at buffering this asymmetry and accomplishing great things, and in no way, shape, or form am I advocating that you get a second heart put on your right side to better balance you out. However, when we start to impose symmetrical movement patterns, this means squatting, deadlifting, pressing, running, hell, even sitting at relatively high intensities and at high volume, problems can arise. We're asking our innate asymmetrical structure to act in a very symmetrical manner. So to get back to the original purpose of this video, the reason that I've given you potentially an exercise or two that's different right versus left is with these specific exercises, what we're aiming to do is to teach you how to manage that latent asymmetry in a more adaptive way. It might be that the manner in which your body was compensating for that asymmetry kind of got you into the trouble that maybe we're working together on. So hopefully that made sense. Hopefully it wasn't too over the top scientific. Thank you for watching.